Hi guys, it's Lacey. So this week we are talking about our prototype and also like how our prototypes might work. So as some of you may know, my decision was to incorporate free lunches in schools. So my thought process is that all students should have free lunch, no matter their need. Like all students need food. It's a requirement of life. And not only that, but students can't really think on empty stomachs. So if they don't have access to food at home, they're just going hungry. That's unacceptable. Students shouldn't have to worry about food insecurities because they're young and they're learning, and it's important that they have access to a balanced meal. Anyway, so the first question is while developing and testing your prototype, you research how your innovation may work. Now, consider how you will present and propose your innovation to end users and funders. I think that I will do it kind of like a fundraiser, and incorporate local restaurants and local food providers and see if I could get them to not necessarily give funding, but donate food. Having local farms, local food providers, and things like that to kind of come together for their own community and their own children, I think would be very inspiring. And I mean, honestly, I don't think it would be that difficult because food security is really important, and a lot of students don't always have it, especially in lower income areas. People are aware of students going hungry, and so it's important to have access to food. And so I think that I think my biggest plan would be to do a presentation and do either before and after, have a student who has food insecurity and never eats and has difficulties getting access to regular food, and then have them take a test with food and then provide free food and after food, and kind of give the funders and end users kind of a realistic idea of the difference that having access to food makes to a student's daily life. And then I would also like to incorporate a poll, so for both students and parents to participate in. Well, obviously I don't want parents to influence students, so I would have the students take theirs at home, or at school, and then parents obviously can do it if they choose to. But basically, this would give funders an idea of what students deal with at home. And a lot of parents don't want to admit that their children have food insecurities. So I won't be surprised if a lot of parents don't. But kids are typically honest. They want to be truthful about what they're experiencing at home. And if their parents aren't coaching them and they don't know about it, they have time to really be honest about what they're doing. Next thing is, where could you find funding? I think that I could probably look into local support groups for children in need and things like that, and even do a fundraiser with the school and do a car wash or a flea market where everybody brings in things and sells it, and then the profits go towards feeding the students. Things like that, selling t-shirts or things like that the students can even participate in, or even, promoting cooking classes where students can learn how to properly cook their meals or things like that. Who else has tried what you want to do? So I did a lot of research on this, and there are a lot of countries that actually feed their students completely for free. All students enrolled in school get free food. So Finland is definitely a big contender. They've been doing it for over 60 years. They've had it for a long time. Some other countries include India. They have over 1.2 million students in their country, and they all eat for free. It's a doable task. It is completely, understandably accessible, and yet we're not doing it. What is the last thing? How can you form your proposal to sell your ideas to others? I think a way that would really change how my proposal is accepted by others is the clarity on what students need. So I think it's important to have a step-by-step instruction on how I can get students access to not only food, but also nutritional knowledge. So like, I think the idea of having students participate in a cooking class is amazing, because I think it's an important skill for all students to have, is to know how to prepare food, to know how to cook. Like, one day they're going to be living on their own, and they can't be relying only on fast food and pre-cooked things. Like, they need to be able to create their own meals. So I think it's an important asset for all students to have, is the ability to cook. So I think that what it will be a really great way to sell this to people is to have it be a donation-based cooking class that all students participate in, and like, it might be different times of the day. So maybe like, it not be that they get free lunch every day, but they get one free meal a day during their cooking class. Like, and not only that, but they can actually make it. Like, all students are required to participate in this cooking class, and like, I don't know, something like that. I feel like it's important that students not only have access to the food, but also know how to cook their own meals. Like, it's an easy life skill that it can kill two birds with one stone. I don't know. I just think it would be a really great idea. Thanks. I hope that was informational.